Ever run into an artist you really respect, but in your state of mind at the time, you just didn't recognize them? I was in deep trouble. I was about to lose my little brother. He needed this urgent and insanely expensive experimental treatment. The insurance, of course, wouldn't cover it, and the hospital wanted a huge deposit for the surgery by the end of the day. We had burned through all our savings. Finding that money seemed impossible. My family was pretty much losing hope, but I was making one last effort, working day and night as a translator, taking any job I could get. That day, I was struggling with an urgent medical article that had an impossible deadline. The hospital kept calling nonstop. My mom called and said, "The doctors are saying they can't wait any longer." I just started crying at my computer. If I couldn't find that money by evening, my brother wouldn't have a chance. Right then, the phone rang. An unknown number. Normally, I would never have answered, but that desperation, I picked up. The voice on the other end said, "We need an urgent simultaneous translator for a 1-hour interview. We'll pay triple your normal rate." It was so last minute I'd never normally accept, but I just said, okay. I went to the location they sent, the lobby of a luxury hotel. My eyes were puffy from exhaustion and stress. They took me into a room. Inside, there was a middle-aged man in a hat and glasses, dressed very simply. "He's the one giving the interview. You'll be translating for the foreign journalist," they said. I was so exhausted, I didn't even really look at the man's face. The only thing on my mind was finishing this job as fast as possible and figuring out how much of the debt I could cover with the money. The interview started. The man was talking about life, about loss, and about hope. The things he was saying were so deep that, for a moment, I forgot my own troubles and just focused on his words. As I was translating his sentences, it felt like I was translating my own pain. For that whole hour, I just went back and forth between his wise, calm voice and my own desperation. I didn't care one bit who he was. For me, it was just a job. When the interview ended, the journalist said thanks. The man turned to me, lifted his glasses slightly and smiled. "You did a great job," he said. "I heard the emotion in your voice. I hope everything works out for you." That's when I froze. Those eyes, that voice. He was one of the most famous directors in the country, someone whose films I had admired since I was young. He hadn't been seen in public for years. I was in such shock I couldn't say a single word. I just managed to nod. Before I could even process what was happening, the person I assumed was his manager came up to me and handed me an envelope. "Our director left this specifically for you," he said. I thanked him, left the room, and ran for the elevator. When I opened the envelope, inside was way more than the fee we had agreed on. It was almost the entire amount needed for the deposit. Tucked in with the money was a small note. "Sometimes we have to translate life's hardest scenes. I hope this helps contribute to a happy ending for your brother's story." I collapsed onto my knees in the elevator. He had helped me without even knowing who I was, just from hearing the sorrow in my voice. With the money I got that day, I immediately called the hospital and paid the deposit. My brother went into surgery that evening. Thanks to that great director, my brother is here with me today, safe and sound.